Come in, everybody. Christmas is ruined.
Christmas is ruined, even more so than it's already been ruined.
Officially ruined. If it wasn't bad already, because you're staying
I've had the
home.
worst Christmas of my life, and the Celtics just put the cherry on top.
Yeah, if you're staying home or quarantining, or you find yourself in the protocols.
Yeah, I put myself in COVID. For everyone wondering, I put myself in COVID protocol on Thursday, and I was just living for some nice Christmas Day basketball, and the Celtics had to go and ruin that for me. So,
I didn't know you were gonna
from
tell
a
them.
bad Christmas to a worse. Yeah, I'm in COVID protocol. For everybody wondering why I'm still in the attic of my apartment, it's because I'm in COVID protocol.
Yep.
I am fine. Don't worry about me.
He's fine. He's
Worry
drinking.
about your Boston Celtics. Yeah,
Jimmy's
I'm drinking.
We need to come up for a name with it. It's 2 parts vodka, 1 part Kahlua, some cream, and some ivermectin.
I thought you were gonna put out the injury report before the game, John. That would be fun. CLNS
the only thing positive about today is COVID for me.
Yeah.
Nothing else came of this day.
Especially
don't be worried about me. I'm fine. You should be worried about the Boston Celtics, though.
Yeah, no, I'm worried about this team more, Jimmy. Seriously, because that happened so quickly.
Josue. Appreciate that.
That happened so quickly in the fourth quarter. Like, geez, like we complain about late game execution all year long, but wow, that happened too quickly.
Dude,
and your two all-stars came out completely flat. And that
ISO. That's it. Yeah. It's like I could see this train coming a mile away. They were up 10 and they're ISOing. And I said it to you guys on the thread. I was like, I hated that possession from Tatum, even though he knocked down a 3, because he walks it up the court, takes 10 seconds off the clock before he even starts to do anything, then shoots a pull-up 3. No one else touches the ball. Then Jalen does it the next time. Then Tatum the next time. That was it. My ball, your ball, my ball, your ball. Last 4 minutes of the game, with the exception of maybe one trip, isolation. That's all it was.
You know what, though?
Unbelievable.
That's right. The ball movement before in the first half, but we didn't see it down the stretch. And then it drove me crazy because there was one play where I feel like you put Peyton Pritchard in that situation. You put guys that you obviously playing well throughout the stretch, throughout the game, and I felt like there was an opportunity to keep swinging the ball to him, and they wouldn't do it. They stuck to their guns. They stuck to Tatum and Brown.
It was brutal.
As much ISO as it was, though. You had a missed 3 from Tatum that Smart made the nice pass. I thought Smart was going to take the shot. He passed it up to Tatum. That was a makeable 3, missed it. Jaylen Brown, he missed a 2-pointer after that possession that was very makeable. And then Rob missed a dunk at the rim. He got blocked by Giannis. So you can talk about ISO all you want, and it is true. But they also just missed shots that wasn't due to ISO. It was just due to not hitting the shot that you have to hit. Tatum and Brown have to make those plays, and Rob has to throw that thing down or at least get fouled and get to the line. He can't turn into, Bucks ball out of bounds. This is similar to the Sixers game where they had a lead late in the game and they blew it. They let Embiid take over, and that 2 should have been wins in the last week are now losses. And I know we started to go off the rails at the end of the show talking about like playoff seeding, but these are games where like it might come down to 1 or 2 wins in the end, whether or not you're in the play-in or in the playoff or out of the freaking play-in completely.
Yeah, that's why these next couple of weeks, not to get into playoff talk like we ended off the show last time.
But Jimmy and I immediately were like, Josue's talking. Here we go.
I
thought you were laughing
no, both of us. The second you started talking, we both just reached.
You have to time it. You have to time it.
Synchronized drinking. Go ahead.
This is all I have. Don't you guys get it? This is all I have.
I'm going to keep it short when you least expect it and see what you guys get. But no, I was going to say, it's like what we talked about a couple nights ago where, we don't have to start talking about playoff pictures and, scenarios about who's going to play who in the first round. But these next 2 or 3 weeks in cohesion with trading season, this is where we're looking to see what they can do with these pieces, right? Can you sell off one of these guys? Someone like Peyton Pritchard, someone like Jabari Parker, not to say that they're being that they're out there because the Suns are looking to trade them because the circumstances they were forced into these opportunities. But look at this roster, look at the record, and at the end of the day, like this team there needs to be adjustments, and it's not just about the guys up top. It's about the other pieces that are going to help guys like Tatum and Brown and Smart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Just one of those, and the Celtics got up to such a hot start. And unfortunately, like I said, I'm stuck in Massachusetts right now. If I was in New Hampshire, I would have been live betting the hell out of the Bucks because there's no way the Celtics were going to hold on to that hot start that they had. You just knew the Bucks were going to claw back into this thing. I thought the Celtics always play the Bucks pretty well. They keep it close. Bucks +7 going into this game. Not talking about gambling. We don't gamble on this show, and we're not talking about it. But if we did,
But in New
Bucks
Hampshire, they do
Celtics
everything.
+7 was a pretty good bet because they tend to keep the game close against the Bucks. And to see them with the lead in the fourth, I wasn't completely surprised, but unfortunately, I wasn't surprised to see how things transpired down the stretch because, again, it's kind of becoming a bit of a pattern this season. The fourth quarter play. At one point this year, the Celtics were the worst fourth quarter team. Now, I'm not sure if that changed because this was probably about a month ago, and I know that they've improved in some areas, but this was an example of just poor execution down the stretch, playing against the clock, not working the ball around like the way you have that is proven to, bring you success, and allowing guys like, a Celtics killer, Middleton, Giannis doing his thing as usual, coming back off of COVID. It just turned out to be a disappointing loss. And they're starting to pile up here, the disappointing losses. And there were good things that happened. There were some good things in the game. You want to talk about Jabari Parker and things like that. But again, it comes down to wins and losses, and this is another one where you're going to have to beat these teams, whether it's the regular season or the playoffs. And you just can't.
It's another game.
That's the thing. Like when you see,
I'll drink. You talk.
A game from when you see performance from Pritchard or performance from Jabari Parker like this, like these are the symptoms of a win that the Celtics needed. Like these are the kind of going into this one
symptoms.
They would be
interesting word.
I know. I didn't mean to make that pun, but you knew with a healthy Giannis that the Celtics were going to have their back against the wall, and they came out blazing. Jaylen Brown
came out hot.
You got guys like Pritchard stepping up. It had the makings of a win, and they blew it. This was a much winnable game for the Celtics, and they just blew it.
There he is.
What did Ime have to say?
Hey, Merry Christmas, everybody. I don't even think we said Merry Christmas. So Merry Christmas.
We were right into
I know it doesn't feel like a Merry Christmas.
No, we said Christmas was ruined. Yeah.
We did say Christmas was ruined, but I will say Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Bobby. How you doing, bud?
Merry Christmas. Shocking press conference from Ime. I couldn't believe hearing him say that he liked the looks down the stretch.
We didn't hear it, so why don't you tell us what happened?
Yeah, he liked the looks. He liked the looks down the stretch aside from the Brown leaning mid-ranger there. He said they were all quality looks that just didn't fall. Now, he did say
Browns could have fallen too.
Yeah, it's just interesting to me that
Tatum's was wide open. That was a great look. Smart gave Tatum the wide open 3 that he missed, and then Rob at the rim.
That's a good look.
There were some easy points there.
I thought some of the pull-up jumpers against defenders one-on-one are shots Ime usually doesn't like in those spots. Maybe
I disagree with Ime.
Maybe with some height in those spots and the matchups, I think that's sort of what he was getting at there. I just think it's so hard, and Ime has talked about this throughout the year of balancing like targeting mismatches and running the offense and passing and moving the ball in those spots like you want to see. They're two opposite things that can't really happen at the same time. So you can't really just say it's either or and we're happy with whatever they do there. Obviously, when a defense is switching everything like Milwaukee was down the stretch, you're going to get mismatches and you can attack those one-on-one in isolation. Great. But you would have rather have seen them swung the ball around, get those good looks inside. Even that lob to Rob that got blocked by Giannis, that was probably my favorite play down the stretch. Decent look, not a play that many players can contest or block in that spot, but Giannis, of course, is 101, so he did end up getting that in that spot. But I'm kind of stunned to hear Ime say he was okay with the way this game ended. I thought it was a disaster offensively down the stretch.
Wait, there's no way he said he's okay with the way this game ended. This couldn't have been the words that came out of his mouth.
I think he liked the shots they took, which is perplexing to me.
It's perplexing to me too, and I don't believe
I'm pulling up Twitter. I'm pulling up Twitter.
Yeah, I don't believe you, Bobby.
I don't believe you, Bobby. Were you even on the call, or were you just late to the show?
I was surprised too. I was very surprised to hear him say that. Save for one shot, he liked the looks down the stretch. Yeah, I thought that was the story of the game, was just attacking one-on-one and settling for jumpers. Now, in the big picture, as I said, he is frustrated with some of those tendencies when they do it, settling instead of getting downhill and different things from that. But he didn't think that was the case tonight. Again, I got to go back and watch that whole sequence there again because maybe I just wasn't looking at it right. But just a really disappointing one. There were a lot of different ways you could lose this game and feel all right about it, right? Because you're undermanned, the Bucks are pretty loaded. Giannis went off in the second half, blah, 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 blah. But you were in a pretty firm position, especially going into the fourth quarter after that big Jabari Parker run. You led by, 12 with about 10, 11 minutes ago? And you just completely got broken down there, and you couldn't get the 1 or 2 buckets down the stretch. How many times have we said that? Joe Sway just said it, like the Philly game, you couldn't execute late. The Golden State one, same deal. Even going back to the disasters on the West Coast trip there. So many games that could have you in the upper echelon of the East. You've just let slip out of your hands due to the late game execution.
We're going to say that because it appears that it's late game execution, but the reality is the good team's going to win those games more often than not, and the Celtics aren't that good team, So like it always feels like, oh, they had it, but usually the good team, the good team's going to do the things they need to do to win, and then you're not. And
did the Bucks do that though?
But it's like I said earlier.
Yeah, they were more aggressive offensively. They cut,
but they missed
down.
layups and they threw passes away.
But yeah, in the end, I'm literally just talking down the stretch here. The Bucks played basically worse than the Celtics for 44 minutes, and then just stepped on the gas for the 4 minutes necessary to win the game, and they did.
I feel like we always talk about the supporting cast and guys like Tatum and Brown getting that support from guys that the other teams have, the holidays and those weapons that you get consistently. And with this kind of production, you can't sit there and say like it's not disappointing that they weren't able to cash that in. I mean, I know Tatum didn't have a great scoring night, but down the stretch, I mean, that's your guy who's supposed to turn in, good possession. Same thing with Jalen. Jalen had a couple of opportunities too. Tatum had a mismatch, with Holiday. He couldn't score over him. I just think when you waste that kind of help, that kind of support, it's frustrating. And it has to be, regardless of who you're playing against, especially when someone like Jalen was hot the way he was on offense.
I want to read a quick tweet, although I lost it, but we tweeted it. So Celtics on CLNS tweets from Ime. I would say at times settling instead of attacking the basket when we can, it starts to snowball. It's not just one guy or two guys. It feels like multiple guys will try to do it on their own. ... Couldn't have asked for better shots late tonight. So kind of saying both sides of it there. It sounds like he is acknowledging some of the hero ball that might be going on, but also he's saying that, some of the shots that they had were fine shots.
One was sort of big picture because Adam Himmelsbach asked what's like the commonality he's seeing through the fourth quarters, the late game execution here, rather than just tonight. And he is saying guys at times are settling, are trying to do it on their own. But again, he didn't see that here tonight. Now, I do see some people responding to me on Twitter talking about Milwaukee's defense, which does drop, which does lean back. They keep the guy in the middle, Giannis there. They protect the basket at all costs. They cut that out. That's pretty much how they won the title last year. So, yes, this, in a matchup sense, lends itself to taking jumpers to try to beat that defense down the stretch. You just would have liked to have seen more downhill activity to get those jumpers, right? Like inside, out.
Why is it okay late? Like you walk in, I just don't understand what Ime is saying there. You walk in the door preaching. You walk in the door preaching that there's too much ball stopping. They play too slow. You gotta you gotta share the ball. He gets on the team all season long for looking for their shots and not involving their teammates. But then he's okay with 8 out of 9 of the final possessions in regulation being all ISO. It makes no sense to me. It doesn't. I don't believe it. Like I don't know if he's trying to put a nice face on it because overall, it was an okay effort against a good team while undermanned.
That's kind of what it feels
it's just
like,
complete. Right? It's right. So I think he's throwing them a bone, but it's antithetical to his entire philosophy. So it doesn't make sense to me that he would say that. Like, this is another classic game of when you step away from it, big picture, it's easy to defend the Celtics and say, oh, well, they were really short. And what are you going to do when Milwaukee's as healthy as they've been all year and it's on the road and blah, blah, blah. And honestly, truth be told, they did a good job just to keep it this close against a really good team. And shucks, we'll get them next time. But the reality is you're in a game and in a position to win, and you're supposed to do the things necessary to win. And you did exactly the opposite. You did exactly what you can't do, which is completely stop the flow of your offense. This is I more often than not, I feel it's the offense stopping to do what it does that kills the Celtics in these situations more than, we always point to defensive
the offense
breakdowns.
Stopped functioning in the last
The offense
3
just
minutes
stops
or so.
functioning, and then all of a sudden it's a 7-0 run in 70 seconds, and you're like, what the hell? Because the offense just stops, it stops cold. So I just don't get it. I don't get that thing. The rationale.
And I was screaming into the abyss too, like right when it started. Brown hit that last jumper they hit in the game. I think Tatum came down, took another jumper right after that in isolation, and I'm like, you got to run the offense here. They're gonna lose the game if they don't run the offense here. And then they just kept shooting in isolation.
I said it too. I was like screaming after a make. I was like, you can't have possessions like that.
There was a definitive difference, right? Earlier in the game, how they were running the offense.
So different.
And then the last few minutes there completely turned on a dime.
Let me throw this out too. Can we ever figure out how to take that awesome Jaylen Brown first quarter and then stretch it out over the rest of the game? I am so freaking tired of 16 points in the first and he can't miss. And then freaking fourth quarter, Jaylen Brown up to 20 now, four points over 2.5 quarters.
Yeah. Tatum has a lot more 50 plus point games.
Right.
It's insane.
He's able to stretch it out when he's feeling when he's high. When he gets going early, Tatum can have the kind of night where it won't be shocking.
You in Brockton, bro? You in Brockton?
No.
You in Brockton, Josue?
This hasn't happened for a while. I guess we were due.
Bad. I'm about to switch up right now. I'm gonna do it.
I want to see. You know what I want? While
right.
you go work on your Wi-Fi, I want you to do some research. Go look up the. I swear I want to see this number. I want to see the games that Brown comes out blazing in the first quarter, and then what Tatum does. What Tatum
you want the
does
splits? You want the splits?
I want the Tatum splits. What he does after that. My guess is he takes 25 shots to Jaylen's 5. And my guess is Jaylen never gets more than 10 extra points after he goes off for 15, 16. Or if he does, it's late in the fourth. And 3, I bet you they lose the majority of those games because you get this weird imbalance. Like Tatum's like, ooh, Jaylen was good. I guess it's my turn to cook, And then they get into, whatever they got into tonight, which is the my shot, your shot sort of thing. I don't know. I want the splits.
There you go, Josue. Easy.
Find me all of that.
Next
Josue.
5 minutes. I'm so frustrated by this just because the last 2 weeks were so good on this front. They made so much progress offensively. They set so many guys into roles. The Jays started playing off each other. They got the pick and roll going a little bit with Rob and things like that. And it just all crumbled to pieces in one bad collapse again. And you're just feeling like you're back at square one in some regard. Maybe you're not. Maybe you're able to rack up some wins here over the next stretch, Minnesota and whatever else is coming up on this homestand. You just feel good about where they're at generally, saying that you probably could have lost this game anyway. But they were in such a good position to steal this game and feel amazing about it. If you won this game, how good would you have felt about what they were doing here, playing the way that they were early in this one, holding Giannis down in that first half, playing good defense while playing good offense.
Defense was swarming. I thought it was really, really good.
Pritchard, what Pritchard's doing still, like so many good things these last few weeks, just kind of soured by the last few minutes here.
I know.
Bobby, similar to the Sixers loss in the way that they kind of collapsed down the stretch here, or is it different?
No, this is completely different. I thought that Sixers game was just kind of a weird mix of things that went against you, including calls and massive.
Oh, he's playing the referee card. I thought I heard it all.
Philadelphia, I thought a lot of weird things went against you in that game, and I wasn't
more of a combo platter.
Yeah, I wasn't super bummed about how that one turned out, just because of the situation they were in that game. In this one, You were playing amazing throughout, and you were in full control throughout. I mean, even that ridiculous Giannis run in the third never produced a lead. So you escape that rush there. Giannis goes to the bench. He's in a little bit of foul trouble at stretches of this one. Like, there were just so many things going your way, and they just completely squandered it. Like, I still can't even fathom it.
It's like Joe Sway's trying to get in on his like little kind of transistor, you know.
Joe Sway's cranking like the AM FM in the corner.
Oh geez, we're still in yellow bars from what I can see.
He's in the red bars. Anyways. Is there an echo in here, or is it just me?
It's just Joe Sway's ridiculous.
We got a hot spot over there. Can we get a
It's crazy how quick people turn on Tatum, by the way.
Yeah, and everyone's gonna tell me it's not surprising. We've been watching this for too long, and I guess in many ways that's right. But I actually thought they turned a corner the last couple of weeks here. The way that Brown and Tatum played off each other, we had never seen it before, and it disappeared in the second half.
Like crazy.
And so does that just continue now? Are they going to go on a bad stretch here and lose a bunch of games playing like this? You hope not. I mean, even Smart in this game, aggressive and shooting a lot, but pacing them, right? Like, he was actually playing good offense.
Worst thing in the world is when those early threes fall for Marcus. That's the worst thing that can happen, you know? It really is. Because then it's just bombs away, you know? Like, for a stretch there, you're like, Marcus is having a good game. I mean, I think he missed everything, you know, in the second half. I mean, he ended up 3 of 10 from 3. I mean, and I thought he was knocking him down early. I think he hit 3 of his first 4 or something. So, I mean, really bad.
But to his credit, again, passed up the shot at the end of the game, and Tatum missed it. So it wasn't like I didn't feel like he was losing them. I were making bad decisions down the stretch. He was just another guy that couldn't hit shots when they needed a couple of them to fall. And that's kind of been the story, I feel like, this year, is the shots not falling. It's when you need them to. It's not that complicated in a game.
And what happens? Romeo comes out, looks like the best player on the court for the first 90 seconds, and then I don't think touched the ball the rest of the game. You know?
Yeah, Pritchard took his spot, which I'm not too upset about. I was actually a little frustrated they put Langford back in very late. It was kind of like that Philadelphia game where
that was an offense-defense thing. They did it during free throws.
I didn't think that was all. It didn't matter, but I didn't like that against Philadelphia. And again here, like, Pritchard's probably a better mix with the starters and regulars as a floor spacer than Romeo is, even though he meshes defensively and can shoot off the ball sometimes. But this was another game for Romeo where he just gives you nothing offensively for most of the game. And his defense, it's all positionally great. I thought he had some awesome plays, especially like you said early, John. But in the end, 25 minutes, 5 points. It's like 4-on-5 with him out there.
Yeah. And that's the thing. We talk about, opportunities and making the most of it. And some guys just need the right, opportunity, and then they'll flourish. It's like Romeo is getting a lot of opportunities right now. A lot. And I know that he does a lot of things, defensively and blah, blah, blah that John will talk about or defend his guy about. But at the end of the day, if you're playing 20 plus minutes a game regularly and you're kind of a non-existent or non-factor on the offensive side of things, he's not defensive player of the year. He's not going to make any of the all defensive teams. So again, I'm starting to wonder, is there another guy that's going to eventually, who else on the roster can take some of those minutes? So, exactly. So Pritchard's the guy right now, but Pritchard's taking away Schroeder minutes. And I think for all the trade Schroeder people out there, a game like today is exhibit A of why you can make that argument that they can and should trade Schroeder if you feel that way. If you can get something worth trading him for. Because Pritchard's not bad enough to get DMP CDs the way he's been getting them this season. I think he's showing that. I mean, I think even John will admit that Pritchard's been playing well enough to earn some playing time.
Oh my goodness, yeah. I mean, we talked about it last game. If he keeps stacking these last game, my lead comment was, why did you take him out late? I thought that's what killed you. And then
in the fourth, you're right.
Right. So like, but if he stacks up enough of those,
and he was hot in the first too.
Yeah, you've now made a case. So he's playing all around great, and he's playing with balls again, and he's not afraid to take that shot. And it's been needed, particularly with Schroeder out right now. You can make an easy case if Pritchard keeps playing like this that Schroeder's
no way
easily expendable. Yeah.
Yeah, either way, and they're not going to trade Schroeder anytime soon. They can't shelve Pritchard the way they were before. That was just absurd what they were doing there. With the spacing that they needed, they had to find some way to funnel him minutes at certain portions of games. And many nights he was a DNP. Forget all the Neesmith talk. I mean, This is the real best shooter on the team right here. So you need this guy out there. He handles the ball too, which is helpful. He's not a great creator, but he finds guys in spots. And defensively, I don't think he's a huge problem. I actually thought some of their worst defensive stretches in the first half fell on Wancho rather than him. There were a few plays I thought Pritchard kind of was screwed up in, but it was actually Wancho in those spots who was just a disaster tonight. Parker ended up making the most of his minutes there. The Wancho minutes were the ones they couldn't survive off the bench, but they stayed fairly thin, and most of the team survived besides, I guess, Rob you thought was a little gassed, John.
There was one period where Rob just a back and forth. He was really late to rejoin a play. Then the ball went the other way, and he and Portis got a little shovey behind that. And then I knew these
hardship guys weren't going to factor in.
He was very late to get over on a three, and then it went to a timeout. I could see that trip going back and forth where it just looked like he was a little bit gassed. So again, I just, I think so much of Rob comes down to, all of my frustrations with Rob to start this season is I just don't think he was in game shape when the season began, and it took him a while. It took him a while to play into it. He didn't gain good weight. He just was out of shape.
This was a good Rob game, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was active, but again, he does get gassed a little bit, and it affects him, because he's slower on his closeouts, and
he got blocked by Giannis.
I love that play, Jimmy. Though, like finally, don't take a jumper, get it up to Rob, and produce the most high percentage play you can. And who's the only guy in the NBA that can stop that?
I know.
He was right there, but.
And how about before that? Rob's chase down block was unbelievable, and unfortunately turned into a Bucks 3-pointer because they got the.
I know.
That was just so unlucky.
Bad bounce.
That was a great play. That was like
you were winning on that too. You were ahead by 2.
And that 3 changed everything. Really, I think the Celtics did they call a timeout right from there?
Rob was look to his credit. I don't. We can look it up. He played 39 minutes tonight. I don't know. That's got to be a career high.
They needed. He had that crazy double overtime in New York.
Yeah.
I think that was like into the 40s.
Okay, because he was justifiably tired, but he played a lot of minutes.
He's played a lot.
38. Yeah, he played 40 on November 12th against Milwaukee. Actually,
got it.
How many did he have on opening night?
44 against the Knicks. You're right, Bobby.
Yeah.
So he's logging those and he's getting through it, and he's not fouling a ton in these spots. This is a game where you would expect a ton of fouls from. How many do you have, Jimmy?
How many fouls?
Yeah.
He had 4.
It's not terrible in 40 minutes. He was never really in trouble.
6 offensive rebounds.
Probably a little high. But, yeah, some of those plays. One Tatum jumper bounced high off the rim. He went up there, got it with one hand, threw it down on Giannis's head. Him and Giannis had, like, this really cool back and forth above the rim of just – throwing it down on each other, rejecting each other there for stretches. This one, Giannis obviously got the last laugh. I was thinking of you, John, though, when he tipped the ball out on a miss. I think Brown tipped it back toward him, and he just swatted the ball right at Tatum underneath. He knew Tatum was wide open under the basket and just completely ricocheted the ball from Brown right back to him on that play. Just some awesome stuff from Rob. Rob stuff that you don't really see from any other player.
Exactly. It's he has a unique skill set that that you don't see from a lot of other guys. That's what's funny is you compare to Clint Capella, which I think a lot of people too. Clint Capella doesn't have skills, he's just
watch him tonight.
Yeah, he doesn't have right. There's some physical comps there And Capella is trustworthy for the things that he does, and he's consistent. But that's why I always talk about the Rob ceiling. You see him do stuff, and you're like, that's incredible, you know. But again, 40 minutes might be too much for him, and he's got
no choice tonight with no Horford.
No choice. Yeah, no choice.
Tough that Horford can play. You're probably in a much better place if he's able to get out there. I guess he's not in shape out of the COVID. The lone guy to come out of that today in that situation, which is unfortunate. Probably says something a little bit about what he went through in protocols. Probably a little more symptomatic than other guys, not coming back in best shape. He was on the sideline.
Who's this?
Horford. He was the only guy who came in out of protocols.
I mean, this is the second time he's gotten it and probably felt it then.
Yeah.
Because he says he did get
he had like a conditioning thing last time.
It set him back last time. He said he was definitely sick. He felt it. So this is twice in 2 months with him. So 3 months rather, but yeah, not great.
So he should be back for the next game, you would imagine.
Only the strongest can come back immediately from COVID.
Yeah.
Who came out for this one? Wancho.
Only some of us can perform during COVID.
Yeah. All right.
No, it's different. It's different for everybody. You have no idea what each person's going through when they have it. So.
What'd you guys get? Did you get anything good today?
Boots.
Boots.
It does.
Dude.
Is that something you're excited about though?
Boots? Like what kind of boots? Like duck boots?
Some nice Timberlands.
Oh, some Tims.
Yeah.
Joe Sway, you're muted, I think.
Let's get Joe Sway back in here. Let's get some 5G.
I didn't get a damn thing today because I'm not allowed to see anybody and get a single gift. So no, I didn't get anything today. Hopefully people will send me something nice, you know, just knowing what I'm going through right now, and you know, DMs are open, so it's all good.
Yeah.
You know?
Support Jimmy.
No, I think me and my family, we're going to do a delayed Christmas since I couldn't be with them this weekend.
Do the New Year's double.
I'll report back on anything good that I get. I better get something good. I've been pretty good this year, so.
Good.
I did all my Christmas shopping. That's probably how I got COVID, because I was out shopping like an idiot. So I should have just stuck to everything on Amazon this year, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Right. Feed the beast.
Yep.
So Joe Sway's here in spirit only, but you can open your mouth a little bit. We're gonna wrap the show. As I said, we're just doing 30 minutes. We've all got stuff to get back to. It's just his lips are moving, but
yeah, we just can't hear him today. It's probably for the best. It's probably for the best.
Can we get
Bobby,
one
if you have
more
anything,
word in?
Bobby, if you ever had anything that you wanted to say to Joe Sway, now's the time to say it because he cannot.
Might never connect to the stream again.
He can't fight back with you. He just has to take it. He has to listen to everything we say.
Well, all I can say is I thought it was interesting. Josh Richardson changing his Twitter name to Joe Swaylito, trying to jack Joe Sway's name.
Oh, that's right. That's who that was?
Wait, Joe Sway's coming on again. He's coming on as a second person.
I thought that was crossing the line.
We're gonna try him over here.
We're gonna get Joe Sway on the
cell phone.
Yeah. Looks good.
Bobby, let me see them Tims.
I have some. Oh, he wants to see those Tims.
They're downstairs. I'm not gonna run.
You're not wearing them, Bobby. I feel like I figured you would like open them out of the box and like just put them on immediately and like run around the house to test them out or something. Like that.
Yeah, got the
No, I'm actually
toes, and this is how it goes.
If
look how fast I can run in these, Mom.
If this is a winter without snow, they might actually not make it out of the box. We'll see. There's no snow until like February now.
I'm a duck boots guy. That might surprise you. I got the LL Beans. I tossed those bad boys on like right around this time. Easy on, easy off.
Those are like for when you get the 2 feet.
You don't even have to tie them. You just slide them on and off, and they're waterproof, and you're good to go. You can wear them from now until March, and no one's gonna think twice about it. You can wear them anywhere, to any event, at any time.
Anything else good? I got a custom wine glass. That was cool.
Yeah? Can you drink out of it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That one's perfect for me.
I know I'm getting a like speakers for my TV. What's it? I'm blanking on.
Bose?
A sound bar?
Sound bar, thank you. Yeah, sound bar.
I just got that. I didn't know it was a thing. We were like shopping, and the guy,
my brother got that from my dad. That's funny.
Yeah, my friend just
in.
got a TV. Like we got a new TV. We needed one. The other one just literally just zapped out. And my friend told me he went in there and the guy's like, so what kind of sound system do you want with it? He's like, what are you talking about? He's like, just the TV. He's like, oh, you can't hear off of these TVs, like
they love telling
like,
you that. They love telling you that.
But they're like TVs nowadays, like, oh no, you're not supposed to listen to this thing. Like it's just a piece of glass.
Right.
And
so
they're like,
I agree with that.
So I got one. And it's
it really depends on like how big of a TV/movie guy are you. If you're a big movie guy and you want to watch like these, intense movies, yeah, you should get a sound bar. It comes with like the bass that you put next to the TV, and it makes especially now, people aren't going to the movies as much. It's like kind of takes it to the next level. If you're just watching sitcoms and whatever's on TV, you don't really need one. But it kind of does take it to the next level.
Well, it's not just that. It actually, what I do find when you're just listening through the TV is the audio gets really muddy. Everything kind of bleeds together. The music and the background noise and the dialogue. And so this helps kind of you're hearing the sounds you're supposed to hear at the volume you're supposed to hear them.
Right. And now you can hook up
John wants Scal's voice booming at him.
Yeah. No.
John wants to hear the Scal laugh and surround sound. So he's like laughing at you in all angles.
Man, we love the national games. Yeah.
Hubie, I got that.
How good is Hubie? I forgot how much I loved him. Throwing it back to the 60s and just like breaking down everything. No narratives. It's just all X's and O's. Yeah. He's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, he's a legend.
That's my gift this year, I think. I don't know what my brothers got me, but hopefully
I actually bought a lot of gifts this year. I
bought some gifts this year too, yeah.
Dug into the CLNS salary here.
Yeah, the CLNS coffers.
Last year.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for Nick's supposed to send everybody a massive Christmas bonus, right? I'm waiting for that.
My dad got a pair of Raycons. I don't know if I'm allowed
nice.
To say
Oh, shout out Raycon. Shout out Raycon. You can say it.
Shout out
Good
Raycon.
friend of the show.
He may or may not use a certain promo code.
They're a great friend, yeah.
Terrific. So guys, I did say we are going to wrap it. So
do we even have a spot
here? Yeah.
Do we need to shout out anybody for this show?
We are good right now. Sound bars for everyone.
Screw it.
Sound bars for everyone.
Yep.
Sound bars for everyone. Absolutely.
Yeah. I just did a good promo. If our sponsor was Sound Bars, we would have done them justice there.
Maybe if any people loosely affiliated with sound bars or sound bar companies. I mean, this is Exhibit A. I mean, this is the podcast or the
You've never been the sound
YouTube
bar
show you want to be on to get your product out there. So
to hear the Garden Report, the way
toss YouTube. Everyone's got a smart TV now. You can toss YouTube on, put the show on, put it on the sound bar.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Boston's hottest club is called Sound Bar.
We'll ramp up the bass in our voice.
Yeah. If anyone's listening right now on a good sound bar, that was probably sick. That was a sound bar test.
That is too funny.
Anyway, Merry Christmas to everybody. We did want to do a show. We appreciate you joining us on the holidays. Very cool of you guys to be here. Everybody prayers up for Jimmy and the protocols.
Thank you. Everybody, I hope everyone's enjoying their Christmas and holidays with whoever they want to enjoy them with. And if they're not able to today, then, whenever they feel comfortable doing it or whenever they're able to do it, that's fine. Yeah. I do have one final thought that I want to make sure I get in. A lot of eyes on this. This is a Christmas Day game, okay? A lot of eyes, more eyes on today's games than probably until the NBA Finals.
For some people, probably the first time they're seeing this team.
Yeah, and I have a lot of casuals watching today. A lot of casuals watching today who are not happy with the Celtics, who are not impressed with the Celtics, who are, I'll say, people texting me, like my friends being like, this team blows. Like this team's not fun to watch. Blah blah blah. So I'm not necessarily co-signing that, but I'm saying that I imagine there's a lot of people in the comments that haven't been able to keep up today, but this wasn't a game that's going to bring the Celtics a lot of fans for at least for this season. So this was a tough one today.
Yeah, this is the easiest one to pick away at, and you want to see at least some sort of blueprint be set for how they can start to execute the end of games better, close games. Didn't really get that answer after from just kind of being okay with what happened here, as Ime was. That's really the first time I've been puzzled by Ime this year. There's been frustration for him for various reasons. The way he's handled the young players, play calling, things like that, the defense, switching. They gotta, I think, try to establish something in those spots, and we're seeing again and again that they just kind of go the same formula in those spots. Not a lot of play calls, not a lot of two-man game with Brown and Tatum. I don't know how many more ways I can say it. Not enough pick and roll. Like, there's just things that they can do.
Play basketball.
That they don't do.
Play basketball the way it's intended.
Right.
Jesus.
Take this ball and shoot it in that hoop.
Right.
Why is the end of the
game? Ball.
Pass it around.
And why is the end of the game any different? Maybe the
Yeah,
defense
I've never gotten
a little bit.
I don't get it.
You need a guy to get a shot off who can in spots.
I understand it. Sometimes you have to do it, but you shouldn't opt for it. But anyway, like
especially
I said, we can't go down this. We can't go down this path again because we're gonna get all caught up again.
John's gonna ruin Christmas dinner if he goes too far down.
Exactly. I got family Zooms.
Good games the rest of the day.
And everybody else has, I'm sure, stuff to do. Watch some basketball. Put this.
Watch some basketball. Watch some football.
What did John get?
Oh,
what did John get for it?
What did I get?
Oh yeah, what'd you get?
I got one cool thing.
Socks?
I got was a really high end chef's knife.
Ooh, for the pies that you make and the what was the other thing that you make?
We make a lot of things. We hosted today.
At Thanksgiving. We're talking about
lots of stuffings. Yeah, I made a mac and cheese stuffing. Lots of stuff.
He's gonna start his Thanksgiving prep tomorrow.
We gotta give a follow up to John. Since he's the only father here, right? So what do you what's the? As far as I know, what was the grand finale? What was the big one this year? The big what? The big purchase you had to make. The one that really hurt, but this morning made it all worth it.
Oh, made it for people. Yeah. We got a bunch of kids. The kids, honestly, you could give them like a.
You have to build anything?
No, thank God.
Oh yeah, you passed that.
That's what I meant. Like nothing like that. Nothing too like.
Not this year.
A lot of young dads are up late on Christmas Eve building like forts and like all that things.
Right. I've done that before. We try to keep it small because
you don't want to be up building stuff.
But we're busting at the seams here. We can't take on huge things. Yeah. So nothing crazy. No, bunch of little things. We're minimalist when it comes to the presents because the kids don't give a crap. They'll play with anything. I could hand them like a bottle of Diet Coke and they'll friggin' think it's hilarious,
An avocado.
They're like, oh my God, the Gatorade bottles, colors, and they'll run around with that all day. So they don't need it. We're pretty
nice. Dad of the year, everybody. He gave his kids Gatorade for Christmas.
That's why John's like, I'm not even gonna say what I gave.
They're so impressed. They're so impressed by everything. It doesn't matter. They're kids, man.
Nice.
They're giving them good values.
They don't need everything. Anyway, Merry Christmas, everybody. Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas
to the guys on the Garden
Merry
Report.
Christmas, guys.
Good seeing you guys. Glad you guys are all having a good day.
Yes, glad you're alive, Jimmy.
I'm alive and I'm well.
Thanks to
the report of my demise was.
Yeah,
we gotta send Jimmy something. We gotta send him a bottle of something.
We will.
You can do that.
All right.
Do that. Thank you.
Peace out, everybody.
Bye.